What's up everybody, my name is IcaRu5h from the Black Oni Collective, and today I am bringing you the first ever Ru5h's 5 in 5, where I discuss a topic on 5 games in 5 minutes. So The Witcher 3 opens up and you see this 2D medieval looking art, and there's this nice Lord of the Rings-y type story going on, and it's explaining everything to you beautifully, and it looks nice and whatever, but you're really meant to be listening anyways. So that's why everything looks pretty much like the entertainment from the time period it's loosely based on. But then things open up and you see our main character is tracking someone, and there's this shifting of time to tell you basically what's going on in the story and what your objective is, while simultaneously showing you what has happened to the person you're tracking along the way. I mean, it's pretty cool, and seeing a crow go through a guy's eye is something of a sight to see. It's a bit of interesting storytelling while not really saying much at all, and it allows for a nice transition into the main game. This is one of the most beautifully done video games to date, and the storytelling and voice work are top notch. It has some technical flaws, but it's easily one of the best RPGs to date, and if you could play the first 20 minutes, I promise you'll get hooked. Metal Gear Solid 5 is Kojima's swan song to the series, and he nails it. To find evidence of this, you really don't have to look any further than the introduction to the game. You start out in a hospital bed and awaking from a coma, and with little understanding of what's going on outside of what you would know from Ground Zeroes if you played it. And from the first minute, it's typical Kojima what the fuckery. It questions your sanity, your trust in others, your instincts to survive under pressure. And then it takes all of that and it throws it out the window, and it says F you and what you think you know about Metal Gear Solid. This is different. Things get nuts, and some flame retardant monster with a name only the artist formerly known as could rival comes out and starts screwing with you and your new peoples. Escaping this nightmare and then basically being told you're the leader of a secret militia of highly trained operatives makes for a fun change of pace for the series introduction. It's usually slow, boring, and filled with a bunch of talking that's quite interesting on a surface level, but is boringly executed, but not this one. Bottom line is, this game is bonkers on every level, from beginning to end, and everyone who wants to see the end of Kojima's era with the franchise should invest the time in playing this. Batman Arkham Knight was arguably one of the top 2 Arkham games ever put out. It had a great cast and stories that were true to the comics characters. And while none of those characters were very original per se, it was the way that they were designed, and the graphics and the music and the story, all of it coming together for this one final memorable moment that made this story so great. And nothing was more memorable to this story in this game than the interactions that Bruce had with the Joker. And that starts pretty much from word go in this game. The first thing you need to do is burn the Joker's body, which acts as a symbol to tell the player, and to a lesser extent Batman, that the Joker is no more. His body is burned so that it's understood he's not the threat in this chapter of Batman's story. And then the game opens up to one of the largest maps they've ever put out. I mean, it's pretty much a far cry from Asylum, that's for sure. But from there you get access to the Batmobile, and things take off as quick as the car can for the most part. But the introduction may not have given you much on what the villain was trying to do and their intent, and it basically sidestepped Origins altogether. But it was one of those really exhilarating starts, and it makes you really excited for the rest of the game, which is phenomenal in my opinion. Fallout is a franchise with little question to its greatness, and Fallout 4 doesn't stray from that line of thinking in the slightest. It's a large open world, and it's brought from a premise that could have existed in our reality, and with that feels grounded in it. While it brings elements of fantasy, this game is, for all intents and purposes, a reminder of what could have been for generations past. To further this point, the game opens up by showing you a content life with a great spouse and a child to care for, and everything flips on its head in a moment. The reality of war is it could strike you at any moment, and the beginning of this game is a reminder of that. Another reminder that was given was that in a time of chaos, you are reliant on the goodness of others, and in turn also the cruelness of those that were trusted. The betrayal may have led to a mediocre rescue mission for the rest of the game, but it was that brutal event from the beginning that gives you your motivation. The short time that you were allowed to feel a part of this family was taken from you immediately, and that understanding of the character's fire is what carries him through a good portion of the game. Uncharted 4 is a beautiful game. From the storytelling, to the music, to the acting, to the verticality, you name it, whatever you can think of, this game has some of the best of it around. But as good as all that is, it wouldn't have captured my attention as quickly without the introduction it provided. The hecticness of what was going on and not understanding fully why Nate is in the situation he is in are some of the reasons why this experience is so great. There's an extra sense of volatility from the surrounding landscape because of the weather and choppy water conditions, but you can't talk about all those things without also bringing up the army of dudes that surround you and want to take you out. It's become rather formulaic for the series to start out this way, but who cares? It's Uncharted and the story is one of the best on the PS4. So that was my top 5 introductions to video games of this generation. I hope you enjoyed. Please let me know down in the comments below what you would put in your top 5. Also, like and subscribe to see more videos like this one from the Black Oni Collective. My name's IcaRu5h. You can find me at YouTube, Twitch, and all the social media at IcaRu5h with a 5 instead of an S. The links will be down in the description, of course. But anyways, till next time guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'm out.